Welcome to the ITSM Practice Podcast.
A few years ago, I joined a session where 4 managers from the same company were invited into one room. They were responsible for the same process, one that touched customer delivery, compliance, even finance. Yet, many of them had never exchanged more than a polite email. The company had to implement a new regulation. Time was tight. Instead of assigning tasks, the facilitator asked a simple question. What does good look like, not for your team, but for your customer? That question broke the silence. They didn't open laptops. They stood up and started writing on sticky notes activities, issues, delays, people involved, systems used. It was not about defining ownership. It was about exposing flow and where it broke. What emerged wasn't just a map. It was a shared understanding of value. This is Luigi Ferri, and you are listening to the ITSM practice. In today's episode, we explore a transition many organizations are considering, moving from traditional process maps to value stream mapping. It might sound like a small change in documentation. It is not. It's a shift in how we understand work, how we expose waste, and how we align IT with the business value. Let's go step by step. Traditional process maps often serve the purpose of standardization. They define roles, activities, decision points, typically within a single team or department. They are useful, they create structure. But there is a problem. They rarely show how value flows from end to end, from the first customer need to the final outcome. They miss the cross-functional nature of today's services. They document what happens, but not whether it delivers value. Value stream mapping, or VSM, changed the lens. Instead of focusing on single processes, it captures all the activities across people, teams, systems that are needed to turn a demand into an outcome. It draws the full picture and helps answer critical questions. Where do we add value? Where do we wait? Where do we lose time, energy, and focus? In this view, IT is no longer a supplier of tickets and incidents. It becomes part of the flow that creates business outcomes. This perspective is at the heart of ITIL, which moves from the idea of a life cycle to a service value system. Here, value streams are not decorative elements. They are the thread connecting practices, resources, and tools into something meaningful. Each value stream shows how activities interact to co-create value across departments, breaking silos. Let's bring in a second framework, Lean. VSM comes from the Lean tradition. In manufacturing, it was used to eliminate waste, not just physical waste, but also waiting time, overproduction, unnecessary movement, unused talent. The IT version is similar. The waste is hidden in slow approvals, unclear ownership, conflicting tools, duplicated effort. Lean shows us that removing waste is about working clearer. That's why companies using SAFe or other agile at scale models embed VSM into their planning. They map work as it really flows, then act on that truth. But here is something important. VSM is not just for analysts or architects. It's also a translation tool. Many of us in IT create reports or dashboards full of SLAs, MTTR, changes closed, but those are internal metrics. They rarely resonate with business leaders. Value stream thinking forces us to ask, what does this service support? Which business capability relies on it? If this stream breaks, who in the business feel it? It helps us move from IT metrics to business impact, and from reports no one reads to conversations that matter. Now, let's go back to the initial example. After the first mapping workshop, that same company broke the 90-day challenge into sprints. Every week, they reviewed progress against the value stream, not just individual tasks. They succeed. But more than that, they created a new ways of working. Other departments asked to run their own mapping sessions. Managers stopped defending their silos. They started defending the flow. That's the culture shift. And it starts with visibility. Now, let's talk challenges. Data availability. Often we don't have the right data to map accurately. Or worse, we have too much, but it's scattered, outdated, or misleading. The solution is not more data. The solution is more focused metrics tied to outcomes. Resistance to change. Many fear the VSM will reveal inefficiencies. That's true. Or add more work. But the truth is, it brings clarity. And clarity reduces anxiety. Misaligned communication. Different stakeholders care about different things. A good value stream approach adapts the message. Executives want risk and business outcomes. Operations want flow and load. Customers want results. So why make this transition? Because value streams don't just show what's happening. They help us decide what's worth doing. They connect IT practices to business needs. They give context to technical work we do. And they remind us that the processes alone don't create value, alignment does. If your documentation looks neat, but your outcomes feel disconnected, this is the time to try a value stream approach. Walk the flow, talk to people. Forget the tool for a moment. Focus on the movement. If this episode gave you something to think about, I would love to hear your reflections on LinkedIn. And if your organization has made this shift, or is just beginning, let's connect. You have been listening to the ITSM practice. I'm Luigi Ferri, and we'll meet again where IT meets what truly matters. Arrivederci.